Let me tell you a story. Back in the day, I used to love Gymkhana. I used to love Subarus. I used to love
Shit, did you see
Rally.
that dude? That was so
I
fucking
used to love
smart.
Rally
Can't believe
so
I
much
forgot.
that I even went to
Dude,
go
holy
see one
shit.
in person. Nowadays, Rally is populated by lightweight hatchbacks. And I don't know if you're seeing any connections here, but that's kind of what a Volkswagen Golf is. I mean, dude, Volkswagen even made a Polo R to compete in the WRC with. And dude, this fucking thing sounds insane. I have to show you guys. It just looks and sounds amazing. And I know at this point, you may be like, what does this have to do with the normal everyday Golf? I just kind of wanted to get you guys kind of hyped on the car itself, you know, like the platform. So let me get into explaining why you actually need a normal street legal Golf.
That's where I actually live. Hometown.
How in the fuck are you about to say? The way that we do it, it's not the way. No, don't you sweat it, you not in the way.
Yo, what's up? So when it comes down to getting a Golf, you either fall into one of two categories. The first category is going to be the immature one. You know, you got your car cambered out of its mind, underglow, you probably even have a forged steering wheel, you got two-step coming up the back. And then you got the mature side. Now maybe some German brand rims, subtle aero, fitment is on point, just nothing too obnoxious. And you know, whether or not you want to be obnoxious, you want to be mature, I don't think there's any way that you can fuck up the interior of a Golf unless you really, really go overboard. I mean, dude, look at the interior of these Golfs. Look at how high-end they look. Hell, I mean, look at the interior of the car that I'm in. Look at how luxurious it looks. That's pretty good for a 1970s car. But look, when you get a Volkswagen, you're pretty much getting Audi-level interior. You may not be getting all the bells and whistles, but it's still pretty good. And imagine actually wanting a car with an interior that it looks like it was designed by a 5-year-old. Why go for something like that when you could get a Volkswagen, get an interior that's very sleek and luxurious, all the while getting compliments from anyone that decides to sit in your car? I mean, think about it. I'd rather not have any infotainment than have a huge ass screen in the middle of my center console. And you know what? Speaking of luxurious German interiors, I think it's only right for me to talk about the history of Volkswagen. So before you even buy a Volkswagen, it's important for you to know that Volkswagen was actually funded by Hitler. And now I'm not saying this is a reason for you to buy the car. I'm just saying it's probably a good idea that you know, and you know, maybe separate the art from the artist. You know what I mean? And listen, I'm not calling him an artist either, okay? But you know what is actual art? The Volkswagen Audi Group engines. Now listen, the memes about Volkswagen's reliability used to be true, but nowadays there's really nothing to meme about. The VR6 engine is a legendary engine, but hot take, I don't think it's as good as the EA888 engine. The EA113 engine was an absolute disaster due to the pressure pump issue. I mean, it would cause your engine to blow up like half the time. But nowadays, we don't have to deal with shitty 6 cylinders or crappy pressure pump regulation. I mean, dude, the EA888 is the saving grace of the Volkswagen Audi Group. I mean, dude, the Audi R8 even has the EA888 in it. Sure, the start was rocky, but like any good relationship, it never gets off to a good start, does it? You know, it's always got to start with manipulation, throwing tantrums, blowing up, spitting on you, shit like that. Sure, the water pump might self-destruct on you, and it might cost you $2,000, but there's a reason why this engine is in every single car that Volkswagen Audi have to offer. I mean, dude, these engines have such diverse tuning ability that you really can't go wrong with it. It's even in the Audi S3. And if you think about it, by driving a little Golf GTI, you're practically driving an S3. And obviously there's a reason why they continue this engine into the Mark 8. And don't say it's because of cost, because it isn't, you know. I like to really think it's just because of the tunability. I mean, you can make these cars make 500 plus, but at that point, you kind of got to think about replacing the internals, you know, rebuilding the engine, all that shit. And even before you get there, this car is still a blast. I think this car has the best off-the-shelf tuning capability out of all the hatchbacks. But in the end, it really just comes down to whether or not you want a front-wheel drive car or an all-wheel drive car. Golf Rs can definitely beat some stock supercars, whereas GTIs are just kind of really good burnout machines. And I'm not saying neither of them are good at the track. They're both really good at the track. But you got to make a decision. Do you want front-wheel drive lightweight or all-wheel drive heavy? It's up to you. And you know what else has a lot of lightweight or heavy things in it? The Volkswagen community themselves, dude. Obviously, I think that every single car community is different, but I really, genuinely do think that the Volkswagen community has the nicest community. I mean, dude, one day I was driving by myself with the windows down and I sneezed and I looked to my left. This guy says thank you, and guess who it is? It's a guy in another GTI, bro. It's crazy. But hey, it all kind of goes back to what I said in the beginning. You can either be immature or mature. And I think it's really, really cool to see how different people can make their cars with such a boring base. I mean, I gotta be honest, hatchbacks you can't really do too much to. I mean, this car literally in itself is the definition of a bolt-on boy car. That's pretty much the only thing you ever want to do to it. Thanks for watching. You know, all comments help the algorithm. My next video is going to be on Twitch. I'll see you guys later.